Revoltage podcast. Now we have Ray Martinez.
This is the Revoltage podcast. I'm Ray. I have Kellan right beside me.
Hi.
You can't have a better voice than me on my own podcast.
I try not to, but I liked your hushed tones like, hello, everybody. My name is Logan. This is the podcast that you're listening to.
I am going to be your host for the day.
Ray is very NPR. He just keeps it real close.
I keep it nice and hushed. Hush tone podcast. The whole podcast is going to be like this.
Welcome to the Hush Tone Podcast.
Hello, Logan.
All right, so for you guys at home, Ray is my coach, actually my wrestling coach. And we also have Kellan, a.k.a. Osito, here.
Hi again.
He is my tag team partner, as you all know. But I just want to start off talking with Ray and just kind of get some background of who he is and kind of where he comes from.
I think you mean Muchacho number 2.
That's right.
I took grand exception with that. I was a muchacho number 2, by the way. Why couldn't I just be number 1?
Technically, you're the only Muchacho.
Exactly. I'm like the only brown person at a Lucha Libre, and I get to be muchacho number 2. What's up with that?
Hey, I mean, it's just how the cards fall, man. You can't always be number 1. Dude.
I guess. Jeez. What have to do?
The only person that could actually be a legit Lucha Libre is the guy that is Muchacho number 2.
I bucked down to number 2.
We put you as number 2 so you could put Pat over.
I
To put Pat over.
all right. I get it. No, if you listen.
Poor guy needs it.
I know. What the hell's he?
Yeah, where is he?
Muchacho number 1 stayed at home. Me, my name is Ray. You might recognize me from live event trivia. I announce MMA and also ring announcer as Carlos Caliente at Elote Lucha Libre.
Hey, let's actually talk about your last promo you cut at an MMA event.
Oh, that was a beautiful thing. So my buddy Brandon actually got to fight. It was a legitimate fight, MMA fight against a stud. Oh man, I'm blanking out.
Wait, was that Brandon?
Yes.
The guy I just met?
The guy you just met a while ago when we were training. Yeah.
Whoa.
I didn't know that.
And oh man, I can't believe I'm blanking out because I'm so old. But he had a legitimate fight in an MMA deal. So I get the opportunity because I know the promoter, and he decided to go ahead and have me cut a wrestling promo in an MMA fight. And you can see that at fighttv.com. Go check it out. I believe that is XFN 342, I believe. So
Are you getting paid for that?
heck yeah.
This shilling motherfucker.
Dude, I promote and pimp the shit out of myself. Hashtag live event trivia. Hashtag elote. Everything. I'm what you call Tulsa famous. Tulsa famous. I am the Z-grade celebrity of the Tulsa scene.
Man, hey, and you know what? Tulsa's a big spot on the map.
You know what? They're getting there. They're getting there, man.
Worldwide leaders, man.
So if you check it out, that's what I meant. So I got to cut this wrestling promo. Basically, and I'm not. Did you guys get to see it? I don't know if you cringed it or
I
not.
watched
Okay. So everything about that promo was the truth. Everything that was in my heart, and of course, the MMA fans weren't having it. Some of them were in on the joke, and there was definitely people at home that were definitely not in on the joke, and they just hated it. And of course, unfortunately, it didn't end Brandon's way. And so, but it was a lot of fun. It was a quick little promo where I just kind of said there would be no MMA without professional wrestling. And I really believe that because it kind of paved the way for kind of a sports entertainment. And because if you remember at first, MMA didn't start out. It was just a pure, just kind of, okay, we're going to fight. Not a lot of glitz and glamour. So once that kicked in, owned by people from Las Vegas, the Zuffa brothers, it started kicking in and becoming more popular. So once that kicked in and became more of an entertainment spectacle, it became more like professional wrestling, more than that they would want to. They can say all day long that, no, this is the beauty of the sport. It's like, no. Once people you pay money for tickets, it's part of their entertainment budget. So that's what they're doing. So that's what it kind of carried over to. And Brock Lesnar is still a presence in that sport.
Yeah, for real. I mean, everybody's coming over. CM Punk.
Well, I don't know about that. That might be a bad example.
Here's the debate. Has he thrown a single punch in an MMA fight yet?
You know what? I didn't even see that fight. Kellan, did you see that fight?
The CM Punk fight?
Yeah. Hold up. We'll take a break here.
Quick break. Hi.
All right, so we're gonna pretend like we didn't just take a break.
No, I didn't see the. No, I did see the fight, but I saw it after. I didn't see it like as it happened. So.
I just heard it was awful. I just heard that he didn't belong there.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, dude. Okay, so this is how the fight goes. CM Punk shuffles forward at like a couple steps and then throws the most half-assed punch I've ever seen in my life. That's why I was saying, did he throw a punch? Because it wasn't even a punch.
He threw a working punch.
Did he really?
Yeah, I think he put over Mickey Gall.
Man, it's just like
Mickey Gall, that was it. It was Mickey Gall you fought.
I like your big what?
I forgot who he fought.
Oh, by the way, it was Mr. Myron Dennis in XFN 343 on Fight TV. Go check that out. You can check out my wonderful promo around the 2-hour mark. By the way, Max DJ Tulsa. I'll be happy to go ahead and provide you DJ services.
This shilling motherfucker.
I just shook the whole table with my promo. The whole damn table.
So we're going to have like 3 minutes of promos.
That's right. I'm going to list off all the shit I do in Tulsa.
Cherries. Yeah, so a lot of MMA guys or WWE guys are coming over to MMA. So I totally agree. I mean, there was no UFC without, at least in the state that it is today.
Well, it's funny because we have a conversation about that not too long ago about all the guys that went from MMA to wrestling. You know, we had a conversation about that. We were talking about
absolutely.
We were talking about
Shayna Baszler.
Shayna Baszler now, and Ken Shamrock, and Brock Lesnar, and Dan Severn, and Tank Abbott, and we named so many names. Funaki,
a lot of Japanese guys.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
No, if you guys remember, it wasn't too uncommon in Japan. That was just a normal thing that they do. Just kind of blur that lines between a wrestling and shoot fighting, quote unquote, shoot fighting or MMA fighting. And like Sakuraba was like the king of that, to doing that. So it wasn't uncommon. So they didn't have that disdain for, there's one's a wrestler, one's a MMA fighter. There wasn't that. They just provide entertainment through fighting, combat sports. It's simple as that. It was simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at how they even wrestle today, I mean, it's very much like it's a lot closer to MMA than WWE is.
Exactly. No, they kick the shit out of each other if you see that.
They'll hit each other and you just see sweat just go flying off their faces.
When you have to retire from head injuries because you headbutt the shit out of people too hard, I'm looking at you, Shibata. That I'm telling you, man, those guys. You know, there's so many things that we see that I'm just like, I cannot believe. I can never imagine taking a punch that stiff. I mean, I work with Ray, and I've taken some stiff ones. But
hey, what do you mean? It's not like you took a backstabber or anything.
That's true.
I don't want to talk about it.
Seriously, the whole podcast, you cried so hard about taking one simple backstabber.
No, Ray. No, Ray. I didn't just cry during the podcast. I cried every night since that backstabber.
No, seriously, I could not remember jumping up that high because you're so damn tall to hit that backstabber. And then when I saw it, I was like, holy crap. That's great.
Yeah, it was great.
You should put this up at the same time. But if you notice, I think my head hits the ropes since Elote has a 9x9 ring.
It does.
And it does. And I didn't feel it because I was so happy that I just murdered him. And I say murdered him so bad. It was great.
I seriously don't know how you didn't just break your neck on that.
I got a strong neck, unlike some people that we know.
Oh,
my neck is like a stack of dimes.
Graham cracker neck, Kellan. Jeez.
So Ray, how many matches have you been in your whole life?
You know, I was trying to figure that out because there is a database out there, and I think I checked it a couple of times, and I've never kept track of them, but it has to be at least, because I've been wrestling for about 6 years, so it's got to be over 100, probably close to about 150, just different matches here and there, because I've wrestled Arkansas, Missouri, and here in Oklahoma. But, you know, those are the 3 main states that I've wrestled. Oh, excuse me, Kansas. No shade towards Kansas, but I've wrestled there, and just different ones, and mostly as me. There was a couple of times where I did wear a hood a mask for a couple of things, but that's the most part. But I think I'd say probably close to 150 matches.
That's awesome. What was your most memorable match? If there's one match that you have to go back to, tell me about it.
The one that stands out and is the person that we know. His name is Pat. Pat, he wrestles at Elote. Not to break kayfabe, but he is the pirate. We wrestled.
Whoa. Wait, Pat's that guy?
Oh,
That's Pat?
I just ruined everything.
I think you mean Muchacho number 1.
Listen, you son of a bitch. I'm still sore about that. No, and I think we wrestled in a building with no AC, and it was like 95 degrees, and it was like a big blow-off match for a loser leaves town. We wrestled a total of 5 minutes, but damn it, those are like the best 5 minutes because we just beat the hell out of each other and got the hell out. Because we're like, all right, we're both older guys, and we're okay with wrestling for 5 minutes in a 95-degree temperature building. So it was fine with us. So it was a lot of fun.
That's brutal, man.
It was, man.
I mean,
you guys
even
are so
training.
spoiled.
Dude, even training that one time where we just had those fans on in that
In that barn.
I mean, that was brutal. I can't imagine trying to put on like a full on.
It was
match.
exhausting, man, because you kind of wrestle. And I've wrestled there because the building and that we had did not have air conditioning. So during the summer, just brutal. Just so you lock up and you're just sweating buckets, man. But it's been a long, great journey because I was telling the guys earlier, the way I got in as a wrestling announcer, a chubby wrestling announcer. And then I went to being a manager, a heel manager. I got in a little bit better shape. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this out. So, and I got training little by little just in the feds that I was either announcing in or being a manager in. I got trained up in the different feds. So finally I felt confident enough. And I was like, all right, I've slimmed down enough to where I can think I can go ahead and do this. And it's been a lot of fun. I think, what did you say? I DDP'd it? Is that it?
Yeah. You are a 45-year-old bump monkey.
Hey, you listen, you son of a bitch. I am 35 years old. That is my wrestling age.
It is ridiculous how much you bump for a guy and you have no qualms about doing it.
Man, it's just, to me, maybe I'm just a sick guy, but it's just fun for me. It's just fun for me, just feeling the rush. I love going through holes and taking bumps like that. It's always been second nature to do that, and just part of the fun. That's why I don't get the guys that refuse to do any bumps. I was like, well, if you're not bumping, then you're not wrestling. I'm sorry. You can walk and talk all day, but no one's going to watch that. And I'm sorry that if that's something that you want to do and you don't take any bumps, then to me, you're not wrestling. You're not entertaining the crowd because you're not willing to go ahead and do that. Now, storyline wise, maybe it makes sense, but there's some guys out there, especially on the indie scene, especially in the Oklahoma indie scene, that will refuse to bump. Just because it hurts their back. You know whose back hurts? Is Logan's back from that backstabber.
Yeah, come talk to me.
Exactly. So come on.
Yeah. I mean, that's funny because it's whenever there's a match, when people aren't bumping or anything like that, everybody's just kind of like, oh, okay, this is fine. They're not really excited about it. They're not getting into it. But then you hit one of those big bumps like a pump handle or, like a suplex or something. I mean, they don't even have to be really high level stuff. You're not having to take a burning hammer or anything, but man, that crowd it gets them right in like that.
It's that first bump and you hear that first crash of the ring. It's going to wake everybody up. It's going to wake everybody up and get everybody's attention. I don't want to brag, but the Fed that I used to run, SRPW, Steel Rage Professional Wrestling, plug. Steel Rage Professional Wrestling. We did a couple of stands at the fair, the Tulsa State Fair, a couple of years ago. And of course, they set up the ring. We were working through Channel 8, and we set it up in the middle of the expo. As soon as that first person took that big bump, it just echoed throughout that building. And of course, everybody hears it going, hey, what the hell's going on there? And it draws a crowd. So that's why I'm just like, all right, just take your bumps, man. Even if it's one or two. Hell, Lawler took one or two bumps at this one back alley wrestling show that I saw in Metropolis, Illinois. And that was like 2 months after he had his heart attack. So really, there's no excuse, man.
Yeah. And like I said, you don't have to kill yourself. But I mean, at least do one or two.
Well, it's when you see those guys, especially like you were saying, indie guys, those guys that say things like, it's like, well, talk about their bump card, or like you don't want to use your bump card, or you don't want to, or whatever. But it's like,
no, I think the exact words were, I've punched my bump card too many times, so I'm not going to take any bumps today.
It doesn't matter. Do you think anybody on like in WWE or anybody in Japan or anybody who's in an actual ROH has been like, you know what, I've taken my bump card?
Are you serious?
No.
Man? Jeez, I can't. Just you saying that phrase just made me kind of just throw up in my mouth.
I know, isn't it gross?
I mean, how many times did we bump today in practice?
I know. Oh, you guys did so good. I'm gonna talk these guys up today because these guys showed up. We wrestled over at my buddy Brandon's Groom Gym. Progression body. Man, I'm trying. What is it? Body
Progression. Sorry.
Darn it. Damn it.
Body progression.
Body Progression Gym, located in Bristow, Oklahoma. Check them out. By the way, did I mention that I'm the champion there?
Oh no!
I'm the heavyweight champion there. So they are in dire straits when they have to put the strap on you. Yes, I am the current heavyweight champion of Body Progression Wrestling. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Thank you very much. So look that up, and I'll be wrestling Sam on the 30th of September. Man, I am just a plug machine, dude.
Really are.
Yeah,
Can we
so-
actually talk about real content?
And you know
instead of
what?
just-
I'm just all about me. You keep forgetting that, Logan. There's nothing better than the sound of my voice.
Selfish motherfucker.
That's why you're listening to the Revoltage podcast.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Ray. This is your podcast.
No. You keep us on track. I was just joking.
I'm just messing. Yeah, so heavyweight champion, how did that come about? By the way, you were anything but a heavyweight.
Well, things happen. So, no, it's just one of those things. I don't want to break too much kayfabe, but, you get to be champion because you are there sometimes. You're reliable, and you know that the persons that are going to be. Sometimes, because and I keep saying this, when I ran a Fed, there's hardly ever that I was the champ, unless I necessarily had to be.
Did you just put everybody over? Or did
Yeah, that was my job, man. I am a 35-year-old dude.
Jobber, man.
Exactly. That is my job, to go ahead and put the younger guys over. I was a heel, and that was my job. I've had my time. These guys that are coming up that are not necessarily your guys' age, but young, but younger. And that's why I hate it when these older promoters keep the straps to themselves and don't try to do anything to elevate the younger talent just because they're caught up in their, what was it, the word that I used today, is self-marking for themselves. Yeah. Self-marking for themselves and their own bullshit. I was like, no, it's our job to bring those guys up. Either we belt them or just have them experience. Like I said, not everybody's going to get a belt, but it sure as hell wasn't me all the time when I ran my Fed.
Well, and on top of that, I mean, losing is just part of the game.
Yeah.
And I think that's why one of the reasons that I love Pat so much is that, he's one of those guys, Machacho number one. He's one of those guys that, is not, he's at the point in his life where, he had a 15-year career and he said, you know what, I don't have to put myself over anymore. I want to put other people over. And he's super unselfish about that. And he just wants to make a good show. He doesn't care about losing. He doesn't have an ego. He doesn't care about, he just wants to have a good show and put people over and make people look good. And he's willing to bump and willing to take really good, do really good things to make others look good.
Exactly. And that's, if anybody has a quote unquote bump card, would be Pat, because he put in his time. And he's done all these cool things, and he's wrestled names before. If anybody was going to do that, but we had a wrestling show at the last weekend. Yeah, congratulations on that match,
thanks.
by the way.
Yeah,
Dude, you did really good. Hey, you took that Rainmaker.
I did. It was just rain. Wasn't really Rainmaker,
that's
it was
right.
just rain.
Kelly gets paid not to wrestle, by the way. He gets paid to drive to an event, and that event gets canceled. So that's his payday.
I get paid gas money.
So please, thank you, God, for making it rain and Kellan not wrestling. Thank you, the Lord Jesus Christ. Strong Catholic prayers for not having Kellan wrestle last weekend.
Thanks, Ray.
No, you guys are like, what the hell did he say? It's just jokes. It's just jokes, man. It's just jokes.
But we were talking about Pat. Pat he's been doing this for 15 years.
And the funny thing is, because I actually bought the name and the ring from Pat from Steel Rage Professional Wrestling. It was him and his wife that ran it for 5 years. And me and my business partner, business partner, Logan, quit looking at me like that. Business partner, Bobby Burns, you know what? Quit making that motion. What the hell? So we bought the ring from him. We restarted SRPW, which is Steel Rage Professional Wrestling. You guys can look it up. So, but yeah, he's been the person, he trained me part of the time. And as I told you, it kind of went through the progress and everything. He went through that bumps. we were in a heel faction together. That was amazing. He's always been such a pro, even when I wasn't such a pro. So, kudos to him for having the heart to forgive me and being a vicious prick that I am sometimes running my own Fed. So
That's awesome. So what happened to the Fed? I mean, you just want to get more involved in the ring instead of running it?
the thing was, after a while, because we had a really sweet deal running the Fed, and it's just a pain in the ass trying to find another venue. So when the venue that we had eventually closed down, I was just like, you know what? Maybe this is the time where I just kind of need to just step away from running my own Fed. Because if you can imagine, even the stuff that we do at Lotte, where I kind of took the reins over that for a little bit, not to go in two sides baseball, even that is not even half of the stuff that I have to do. Just running your own Fed, booking this, making up a card, doing all that. It was just giant. And I was like, you know what? It's time for a break. It's a good long run after 6 years. So, I just decided, this is the time to go ahead and break.
Well, and you guys have talked about doing it again, right? Or, I mean, there's been kind of
murmurs, because everybody kind of says, hey, wouldn't it be cool to have a reunion? I'm like, well, maybe once in a while. Now, because I did sell that ring over to my good friend Brandon Groom over at Body Progression Wrestling in Bristow, Oklahoma. So, and it's up to him. So it's not something that I'm looking forward to running to. I'm pretty happy where I am at a Lotte in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I'm just saying, Revoltage Wrestling has a good tone to it.
Ooh,
I like that.
Yeah.
Did you say Revoltage Wrestling?
Steel Revoltage Wrestling.
That'd be great. That'd be great. So
No, that's awesome.
is it?
So did you say that Pat trained you?
Yeah, well, I'll say a little bit. Like I said, through my being a ring announcer, being a manager, I would always kind of just jump in when they were training the other guys. Like, hey, is it all right? And everybody's like, oh, okay. The ring announcer wants to work out. And of course, I'd just pick up little by little, getting an arm drag here, a hip toss here. So I would just pick it up. Anytime that they would go ahead and wrestle or train to wrestle, I would kind of, hey, guys, is it all right? They're like, all right. So I would just kind of learn little by little from people that were willing to teach me the whole time. So I didn't come up traditional wrestling class where I kind of went 8 weeks, got on the card. No, every show that I announced at or was a manager at, I would just kind of work out with the boys. Even if it was to be a bump dummy, I learned.
Well, I think that's kind of the way that I've learned. A lot of guys, like with us, that's the same way. We're not going to 8-week classes and we're just showing up. I mean, that's the whole...
We're just getting backstabbered on the fly.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're just doing things on trial through fire, and we're just doing things on the fly. But it's just cool to see now that you were trained by a friend, and now we've been trained by you, and are still being trained by you and Pat, and whoever else wants to, train us and show us new things. And there's always things to learn and to do, and I think it's pretty cool.
That's why I was so happy when you got to see like Angry Wrestling Vet kind of take over a class that one time, because you could tell the difference. You could absolutely tell the difference between the people that are wanting to teach and the people that are just wanting to get their own shit in. And I'm glad you guys got to see it, because you can always learn from somebody, either if it's a positive thing or a negative thing. And I'm glad you guys got to see that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was really interesting too, because I mean, it was just like bump, keep bumping. You got to get this bump down. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we just bumped like 12 times in a row. And now we're just getting like beat up in the corners and we're just like everything. But it's just like so intense. And it's like, yeah, that's fine. I mean, I get that there are wrestlers out there, but I mean, for us and for what we want to do, I mean, that doesn't really resonate with how we want to train.
I think that's part of me, me and Ray were talking about that earlier. We're talking about self-marks, people who just want to get their own shit in and talk about themselves and just pump themselves up, talk about how great they are. And, he was like, I'm glad you guys, again, like he just said, I'm glad you guys got to see that and see version of that, because unfortunately, that's how a large percentage of some of these people can be, is, these guys who are really intense and really about themselves and really, these big ego guys, which fortunately enough, we've only met one of those guys. Out of everybody we met so many cool people. I've met one of these guys, and I'm like, I don't like that guy.
And the thing is, guys, anytime when you're training and there's too much talking about the person that's training you and the accomplishments that they've done, they obviously are trying to prove something to you guys and not actually train you. It's like, well, I've done this. I worked this name in this part of the country. I did. I was like, great. Can we just get to training? That's the only part that bummed me, because drills and stuff have their place. I have no problem with that. And like you said, there's only certain stuff that you're wanting to cover in this short of time. But the thing that really bugged me was just the constant talking about how good he was in the places he's been. And I think that's what it was. I think that's really what it was that really bothered me about that time. Like I said, all the drills that he did were pretty solid, but like I said, some of the the talking about self-marking at the time was really bugging me.
Well, and just the way he was like presenting the information too. I mean, he was just like, man, if you don't know how to do this thing in this specific way, then you're gonna like ruin the name of professional wrestling.
You're gonna hate the business like you normally do. Oh wait, did we talk about that? How bad he hates the business?
Logan hates the business.
Hashtag Logan hates the business.
No, guys, I found my smile.
Where'd you find your smile, Logan?
In Japan.
In Japan?
Tokyo.
Oh, man.
Korakuen Hall.
Where?
Korakuen Hall.
Oh, man. You better say that right. You'll get in trouble.
No, I probably butchered.
Don't say that with an accent.
Korakuen.
Don't say that with an accent.
One of our buddies at Elote, Abra, he kept giving me so much crap because I'm such just a wrestling, Japan, everything. And he was like, oh, so you went to Japan recently? And I was like, no, that was Logan. He was like, oh, yeah, it was, wasn't it? And then like all day he kept following me around. I'm like, man, so you got to go see New Japan. Oh, that wasn't you, was it? How does it feel that your friend does the thing that you love more than he does?
What a dick.
But dude,
Abra is such a magician dick. That's all I have to say. Hope he's listening too, wherever he is, in whatever layer of magic and dummy he's doing. Jeez. Man.
Dude, it was amazing though. I have to say,
it was, man. You should devote a whole podcast to that.
I think I might. I mean, it was just crazy. I mean, just how intense they are. I mean, I'm watching this and I'm thinking, how the hell can they keep up this pace? I mean, this wasn't a big show. I think they were on Road to Destruction. So Destruction was the big event, and it was like, a week away or something like that.
When you say it wasn't a big show, how many people do you think were there?
I mean, they sold out. I mean, there was probably 1,000 people or so.
Okay,
I mean,
I think he means it wasn't a main wasn't like Wrestle Kingdom
exactly.
or Destruction. It wasn't one of their main shows. It was the Road to Destruction. So it was leading up to the big blow off main event kind of thing.
Yeah, so what they do is they have like a little tour that they go on, and they have like 5 or 6, these smaller matches that are all building up the storyline that is going to be resolved at Destruction.
Okay,
so
but
that was just one of those lead up.
Okay, but that wasn't the reason why you went to Japan, right?
No. No, I just got lucky that they were putting on shows while we were there, and we got it to work out. I mean, so Abra actually talked to a friend out in Japan who I got to meet, and is an amazing guy named Natsuki. So as an American, I can't buy New Japan tickets.
What?
Yeah, so I can't buy them from here.
Now, wait a minute. Why is that the case?
Because I don't think they do like an international transaction or something.
Okay, I got you.
From here.
Okay.
Yeah. So
no, Gaijin, you cannot buy tickets. Screw you. Keep it pure.
So what ended up happening was we talked to Natsuki, and he went to like this auction thing and like ended up getting his tickets. So I mean, it was like in this random guy's hands for us to even be able to go, and it worked out. And I mean, I'm so happy it did.
That's so awesome. Did you get him a fruit basket or anything?
I gave him a shirt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Then bought his dinner. Yeah.
Oh wow. Jeez, I didn't think you were gonna buy him dinner. Jeez.
No, and he was
Normally,
great.
don't they buy you dinner because they're marking out for you? And that's the way that works. They're their sponsor.
We did get a picture together.
Oh, well, there you go.
I didn't charge him for that.
No, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch, man.
No, but it was great. But what I was most interested in is, I mean, since this was a smaller show, is in the sense that it wasn't like Payback or No Mercy or something like that. But they still went so hard.
Man, it's super intense how they go.
How are they not just like killing themselves every day? How are they not?
No,
just
they are
constantly
Just
injured.
believe you me, they probably are, man. So
I think 90% of them work hurt. I think most of them work hurt, and then wait till they get little breaks here and there. Because like we were talking about that the other day, because they don't work 300 days out of the year. They'll do big tours. I mean, they still work a lot, but they don't work as much as like WWE. But even then, those guys still go pretty hard, even on live shows, and but not as hard as Japan. Not even close.
Absolutely not. Because I've been to one of those shows that aren't televised. They work each other kind of light, if you ask me, man. I don't know what shows. Maybe it was just different at the show that I watched, but they work each other really light in those what they used to call house shows. I guess they call them just live events now. Is that what the deal?
I still call them house shows.
Yeah, no. But the house shows, they work each other light. But it's a lot. You know what? House shows are a lot more fun, though. Those WWE house shows. I think you guys are going to go to one, right?
Yeah. Are
When is
you
that
not
one?
coming with us?
Well, if you ask me,
I got a gig. I'm Ray, I got a gig. I got a DJ gig. I got a wrestle. I got like 10. I got 2 weddings, 8 funerals, 7 bar mitzvahs, a quinceañera I have to go to. It's crazy.
And trivia night.
nobody talks like that, by the way. nobody talks like that in this table. So it's, what's going on? Oh, are they going to wrestle?
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
You know what's funny is I've seen this guy on TV like 5 times and I've never once heard him actually play music.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I've listened to him.
I know, but every time it's muted for whatever reason.
For a good reason, you mean. For a good reason. Man,
Do you want to wrap this
wrestling
up?
Apollo Crews. I'm just blanking out who the hell he is right now. God, I hate head injuries.
That's Elias Sampson.
Oh, that's right.
Or
That's
as
the
he
kid.
goes by now, Elias.
Just Elias?
Just Elias.
It's funny how those wrestling names just get shortened immediately.
Immediately.
What is it, Cesaro's? What was his whole name?
Oh, Antonio Cesaro.
There you go.
Yeah.
They just call him Cesaro. Just one.
Pretty
They'll
soon
fit on
he's
the
just going to be
t-shirt.
Saz.
They'll call him C. C. Hola. C.
Hey, do we want to do a quick little No Mercy run through and then wrap it up so we can watch it?
Oh,
Sure, unless you want to talk to me.
well, we're just going to take a quick break then?
No, we could just talk about No Mercy. What's
Oh,
about to
crap.
happen? Because we've been doing this. We're 30 minutes into this thing.
What? How long?
30 minutes.
Oh, man. People are going to listen to this?
No.
All 10.
They're going to hear your first promo and be like, is this all the show's going to be?
Oh, by the way, it's Max DJ Tulsa or live event trivia. Check those out. Your favorite Mexican. I have a t-shirt coming out, by the
I
way.
mean, favorite.
Well, and also we mentioned, you know what? I'll go ahead and shill too. We also mentioned sweating our asses off in a barn, but I'll go ahead and pimp BCW real fast. Shout out to them, those guys.
There you go. We're doing everything. Oh, by the way, Elote has a... yeah, I got to pimp everything right now. Elote has a Friday the 13th Halloween show coming up. So check that out. It's Elote Restaurant. You can Google that. Gurgle that. And check that out. But it's going to be a full night of fun and fury and frenzy with the pandas. The pandas are going to be...
Oh, the pandas are going to be there?
Hey, Kellan, what are the pandas' names again?
There is El Vandaloso and Osito.
Which are the Elote Lucha Libre Tag Team Champions, by the way.
They are. They're pretty good, I've heard.
How long have they been champions now?
I don't know, like
A couple
few months, yeah.
Yeah.
You dolts. Why can don't know your title reigns? Oh, no, you're using your
It's
fingers to
Cinco.
count.
Cinco, right?
It's like 4 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Cuatro, not Cinco.
No. Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, okay. I
Cinco.
thought you saw his fingers and you said, that's Cinco. I was like, no, you don't. That's Cuatro. I'll say it with an accent. Cuatro. Are you pulling the card up? Because
I got it.
Okay, so do you want to talk about it?
Sure. So we have the card or the pre-show that's actually going on right now with Elias Sampson or Elias and Apollo Crews. They're going right now. We have 20 minutes till the actual show, so I imagine they'll probably go 15 or 20.
I was talking about this earlier, and it's a damn shame what they've done with Apollo Crews on the WWE main roster, because it sucks, man, because he was so good in the indies, man. And it just seemed like they brought him up too quick, as you were saying, and I agree with that. And they just didn't have anything for him to do, and now he's on the pre-show wrestling Elias.
That's the thing, is he was super talented, and they brought him up way too fast from NXT, and he was even great in NXT, and they just moved him up way too quickly, and that really just had no place for him. And unfortunately, he's kind of getting lost in the rut.
Yeah, well, he's hooked up with Titus, but that faction doesn't seem to be doing nothing.
It's just weird.
Every week it's different. It's like some weeks they're kind of like putting a lot into it. They're like doing that Titus brand worldwide thing, and then all of a sudden it's like you'll see him week after week with them and Tozawa. Now Tozawa's not even hanging out with him anymore, and now it's like they're not. I don't know. It's really weird. It's like it kind of comes and goes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a whole lot about who they are because I just don't keep up with them all that
Damn
much.
it, Logan.
I know, but from what I have seen of him, it's always just been kind of a joke. Like whoever the guy is, just like complaining and running around like a madman outside the ring. And
it's a shame. If you guys look, it was Uha Nation in the Indies. If you look up some of his older stuff, he's amazing, man. For a person his size, my God, man, he would just fly. He would just literally fly. And you've seen just a little bit of what he can do during his run in WWE, and that's why I'm looking at this match going, oh man. But oh well, maybe it'll turn and maybe it won't.
Well, he's such a good worker, but unfortunately, I think that I have a feeling Elias is going to take this match because they're seeming to give him a little push.
Because he could sing.
Well, plus Elias wrestles in jeans, so I'm all for it.
Only creeps wrestle in jeans.
Jeans creeps. I think they're probably going to end up giving it to him though because they've kind of been giving him this weird little push lately, and I think that I just don't think that they're going to do a lot with Apollo.
All right, for the record, we talking about way too much about Elias, by the way.
Yeah, who's next on the card?
Next up, we have Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt.
You know what? Initially, I kind of like this feud, but it just seems like it just got tired super quick, man. It's just like,
Well, now this is a man versus man match. No demons. No, he's like, you can't win without the demon, Finn Balor. And Finn Balor's like, it gives this whole promo last week that was like, well, I created the demon, to help me fight against bullies and to help me to, live life properly. He's like, so what do you think's worse, the demon or the man who created the demon?
Here's my question: is with the demon thing, are they billing it as he's like a true spiritual, like crawled from the another realm demon, or is it like a character that he's playing that's like, I made this demon to be like a badass?
I think it's like a persona he takes on to get in that headspace of
what they call it, his dark passenger.
dark passenger.
Yeah, that's his dark passenger that he has. And okay, I kind of get it. It's something different at the time, but it just seemed like this feud just kind of just ran out of gas so quick, man. And it
couldn't it have been really good? Because I know people were excited about it because they kind of had this weird like demon stuff. They had like
it's
the
like
cult
everything
stuff.
with Bray Wyatt, dude. It's like it has so much potential, but for some reason they just pull the reins on it where they don't. And with this, they also brought in like a Goldust angle with it, where Goldust had a match with Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt was like, face paint doesn't make the man, doesn't make you strong. And he like wipes off his face paint, and then the next week him and Goldust have a match where he's not the face paint. He's like, I want to prove that I'm more than paint. And it's like that's what it's becoming now, is like, who's better than paint?
All right, quick sidebar on that. Man, he looked old as shit without his makeup.
But you know what? He can still work like a motherfucker.
But no, without maybe just because I haven't seen him without his makeup, I'm like going, oh my God, does that makeup just age you like 10 years? Jeez. But no, he's still doing some good stuff out there. But as I said, But who do you think is going to win this matchup then?
Balor.
Yeah, it's like Bray never wins.
Bray never wins.
Never wins. I'll be surprised if he does. But
hey, I'll be honest. I don't think I've ever seen Bray win.
Yeah, remember we watched at Elimination Chamber. He won the title. Yes, I watched over here with you, and he won the title.
Live.
Logan, we watched it together
not
here.
Live. We watched it after the fact. I've never.
Oh, we did. That's right.
Oh, it's like a couple spatting. I feel like a marriage counselor just listening to you guys.
And the reason I watched it was because Bray won. I was like, sweet, I get to see Bray win because I actually really like
victory.
Yeah.
Right.
Who's next?
Next up is let's see. It is Neville and Enzo Amore for the cruiserweight title.
Whoa.
Who cares?
What?
Wait a minute. There's a lot of stuff on the line here.
Yeah, no,
a lot of stuff on the line.
For sure.
Because Enzo, he's failing upward, guys. He is failing upward.
Joe.
Losing his tag partner, and then all of a sudden, he is like the face of 205 now. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Because I'll call it right now, I would not be surprised if he goes over. Granted, probably dirty over on Neville, just because he is a name, and now people are gonna attach, oh, Enzo, wasn't he the whatever guy, the promo guy? Oh, I'll watch it. And that's probably the only reason this guy gets over, because he can talk, which to me is beautiful, because that's all I can do. I got 3 wrestling moves, but I can talk.
But you can bump like a motherfucker.
Unfortunately, well, so can Enzo Amore.
Yeah.
Enzo Amore is a bump dummy. The dude can bump like crazy. Is he a very good worker? Debatable. But I would say honestly, no, he's not. He was definitely the weak link in that group, with him and Kaz. But I will say he is a bump dummy. He does have the charisma. He does have the ability to talk and everything. But I don't know. I think they're gonna keep it on Neville personally.
I just feel sorry for Neville because you have this great, talented, super athlete, and he's basically like doing a wrestling match with Krusty the freaking Clown, man. It's like,
What if this was the deal that you clean up behind the scenes? Because I know everybody. I mean, you got a lot of heat in the locker room.
oh yeah.
What if they said, you go to 205, you quit annoying everybody, we'll put the belt on you.
You know what? I would not be surprised if that was the deal. It's like, all right, we're gonna put you here. You be a good boy and shut the hell up, and we'll do that. You know what? And I could totally see that, but unfortunately, that's costing. Because 205. I'm not sure how much you guys see it. It's been ticking upwards a little bit, where it's actually caught my attention.
Cool.
I don't want to brag, but I have friends in the international wrestling podcast industry. I don't want to brag or anything, and they've been catching the attention of that. So like I said, I don't want to brag on this podcast too much.
No, I think it's definitely got, and I mean, I think that him being on 205 Live will call more attention to 205 Live, and I think it'll be better for them. But last week on the Go Home show, he's out there talking, Enzo's doing a promo, and all of a sudden Braun Strowman comes out and just beats the shit out of him for no reason. And then Neville comes out right afterwards and gives him a red arrow, and then that's it.
Uh-oh. Did he win?
I think he won.
Did he win?
To no surprise. Oh man, that means we're running out of time.
I know.
We gotta
Yeah.
power through these
All right,
things.
here's
I called it. Elias Sampson
Yeah,
wins it.
you called
Spoilers.
it. Right. Whatever.
Spoilers.
Oh man. Well, they're not gonna listen. They're gonna watch. This is the kickoff show. No mercy. All right, where are we at?
All right,
Well, and on top of that, it's alive. So
yeah. Well, just for that one, I'm going to call Neville on that.
Neville? No, I think Enzo. I'm
gonna say Enzo.
Enzo's gonna pick it up and piss everybody off.
You're probably right. I'm going to stick with Neville just because we have to be the voice of difference here, but...
You're the tiebreaker, Logan.
Enzo.
Yeah, he's
Oh, okay.
I'm going
Okay,
Enzo.
well,
Yeah.
Alright,
well,
next
screw you.
is the tag team championships with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins and Cesaro and Sheamus.
I'm gonna sit this one out because I could care less. I
Dude, it
could
has
really
to
care
be.
less about this.
It has to be Rollins, and
I think so too.
I mean, you
I'm
you
just
can't
so sick
take
of
the wind
bar.
out of their sails.
I'm so sick of Sheamus and Cesaro. I like them, but I'm just over it. Get somebody else in there. Let's do something different. Get the Good Brothers in there. Let's do that. Like,
Well, I mean, you just can't take the wind out of their sails because I mean they've got all this momentum. What are they? Are they the Shield?
no, they're part of the Shield.
No, they don't even call themselves.
No,
that.
they're Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. That's
Yeah.
why they are.
They've got a lot of momentum going, so I think that if you kill it now,
It
then
just seems like it's just so tired. Again, that's like the second kind of like, ugh, okay, we'll put up with this match and everything. That and the Bray Wyatt and then Finn Balor one is just like, ugh, okay. Sorry.
Next.
I have no opinion on that one.
Next, I was The Miz versus Jason Jordan
Oh,
for the Intercontinental
man,
Championship.
The Miz is on fucking fire, man. He has been doing such good stuff.
and has been for the past year. The dude is unstoppable. He's so good.
Ever since, and like I said, he's been a solid hand. He's been, I think I told somebody, my international podcasting friend, that he's almost like the solid person on either a baseball team or a cavalry troop where you can just rely on him. He's going to get the job done. Maybe not the most popular person or maybe not the most famous one, but he gets it done, man. Just because all that promo that he cut on Daniel Bryan was absolutely 100% true. 100% true.
Yeah.
That's why he is still wrestling and Daniel Bryan is a kayfabe commissioner on TV right now.
well, and same with Enzo. I mean, he's saying he's cutting these promos that are just like
it's so brutal, so good.
tearing
man.
people
the
down.
same with, and we'll get to it, but the same with Cena and Roman. They're calling they're just shooting on each other.
yeah.
That's just like bananas, man. And that's kind of what everybody's kind of doing now. It seems like the new style is very like kind of the shoot.
as
the-
real as it gets.
The work. no, I think it's more of like a work shoot.
No, and I think that's I think it's very, I don't want to say brave, but it's kind of a step forward. Like, okay, we're putting it out there. Maybe not so much to the casual fan, but to guys like us, we're like, oh my god, I can't believe they're talking about this.
believe you're saying that.
Yeah, no, and it's just like because you realize there's a lot of truth to what they're saying, if not 100%.
Yeah.
on that. So it's amazing how that's been going. So
I'm gonna say though, if I had to make a prediction, I'm gonna say the Miz, just because I don't think Jason Jordan's really ready for it yet, and I think that they are going to keep that belt on him as long as they can.
Yeah, I'll go with the
and I totally agree with that because whatever the Jason Jordan experiment that they're doing, it just nobody cares now.
Nobody cares.
They had a pop, but they didn't follow through in it. I don't think adequately enough to make people say, "Oh my God!" So the only inevitable thing, and you guys, I don't know if you guys agree, he's going to turn heel. He's going to turn heel on his dad, which is Kurt Angle, by the way, just in case you didn't know that listening to this podcast. Was it what I say?
Kurt Angle.
What did I say?
You said Kurt Angle.
Oh, you said
with quotes.
Oh, you did the bunny quotes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's Kurt Angle.
Hey, you know what? He was around, and he likes the darker ladies, so I could totally see it. He does.
Who doesn't, right?
Exactly. Wait. What are you doing, dude?
Well, I'm saying you.
Oh well.
Sure dark.
That's right. Anyway, what's the next match, man?
The next match is the women's title, which I know you're interested in that with Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks, Nia Jax, and Emma and Bayley.
You know what? I can't believe with all the resurgence of the women's revolution or whatever that they're doing this, and they keep on doing it where they just kind of jam and shoehorn this match together where it doesn't mean anything. And and that's what I hate. And I wish, because I'm old, I keep forgetting. There's a graph what they show what the percentage of women's wrestling is on each show, and it's less than like 6%. It's less than 6%. And for them to do this, I think it's a damn shame because all those ladies, I think, can wrestle and can carry a show or a match on them. For them to jam them up in a show like that is just a damn shame. But I guess who's the champion now?
The champion's Alexa Bliss.
I think she's gonna keep it. What's that?
Yeah, I agree. Wait, what's up?
Is it?
That might be our pizza.
Is the pizza? We gotta take a quick break. Or are we gonna talk? Okay, we're gonna take a quick break.
I couldn't agree more though that it's about the shoehorn thing because I feel like whenever they don't really have an idea where they want to go with the women's title, they just shove a bunch of people in.
Throw them all together.
They do, and not even that. So they all of a sudden it starts off with Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax, and then all of a sudden Sasha Banks comes in and it's Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks, and Nia Jax, and then Emma's like, "No, I'm the best. I started the Divas Revolution." All of a sudden she shoved in, and then last week on the Go Home show, all of a sudden Bayley shoved in there because her shoulder's good again. It's like, why are we doing this? Why are we putting this many people?
It made no sense. And by the way, that's the women's revolution. You son of a bitch.
Did I say divas?
Yes,
I
did.
meant women's revolution.
You
Sorry,
son
I know.
of a bitch.
I know.
Dude,
What am I?
They're working hard to be women athletes.
Such a damn mark. I can't believe I know.
Yes. No, it bothers me, but I really think Alexa's going to retain because I think she's doing such a good job being a heel and just like a piece of shit heel that we all deserve.
Well, they asked me to be in it, right?
So
they asked me to be in the match, and I was like, "Nah, dude,
it's too many people."
Yeah, too many people.
There's too many people, even though you have the softest hands.
I'll say Alexa Bliss again because she's just on a tear right now, and she's just doing so good.
Yeah, I'm with Alexa on this one.
You're just agreeing with everything we say, Logan. Damn it.
No, I didn't agree with Enzo.
What the hell? Oh, okay.
And the next is John Cena and Roman Reigns.
Oh,
dude,
so good.
This one's gonna be hard to call.
So good. No, I really have to disagree, man. I think it's easy to call because let's just say John Cena's on to bigger and better things in Hollywood. He's going to make shitty DCEU movies. Shazam. Man, and I think, and he's doing Transformers already, right?
Yeah, I think he's already doing.
So I think they're going to put Roman Reigns over. I don't like it because I think Roman Reigns is kind of just a garbage person. But
actually,
that's why I think they're building this whole thing up is that they want him to go against the one guy who can talk just as much crap, and he called him out for all his stuff. So now he's giving him an opportunity for Roman to call him out on his crap, which he has been, and they've been doing a really good job at it. Now it's time to see who's going to do. And honestly, do I like Roman? No. Do I want Roman to win? Not necessarily. Do I think he should? Probably.
Yeah.
It'd be better for his push.
Well, now that I think about it, too, Roman's just been destroyed by Braun Strowman, so his name's a little low. So another loss, another loss right now would just bury him.
Braun, oh my god!
That brings us to our next match.
This one's gonna be so good, dude.
Braun Strowman, which I think will be a really good match.
And I don't know about you guys, I'm really surprised they gave this one away at No Mercy, man.
Well, this and the Roman Reigns John Cena one, these are two. Well, and part of the thing that I heard about, I read an article recently saying that the network is not doing what they thought it was going to do, and it's kind of gone stale, and they've hit a real kind of plateau with people, and their projected numbers are not even close to what they thought they were going to be around this time.
Yeah, I mean,
hot-shotting it. With
So
all
now
this-
they're going to try to shove things in because they're, for the more casual fans, like you were saying earlier.
exactly.
Like for the more casual fans, they're trying to do stuff like this, big name stuff that people can latch onto and know. And the thing is if they're stupid if they don't give this to Braun.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, they could keep it on Brock, and that'd be great, and then Brock would be whatever. But man, if they get with Braun, there's so much they could do.
Brock's a part-timer, man.
I don't think it's time yet, man. I really don't think it's time. I think they're going to wait. I really think it might surprise me if they do. But in my heart of hearts, I really think they're going to keep it on Brock just because I think when it happens with Braun, and Braun's been tearing it up. He's without a doubt probably the best thing going on right now.
Yes.
Just the whole thing.
Breath of fresh air.
Exactly, man. And he's just been doing so well with everything he's done. But I don't think it's time yet. And I think they're going to keep it on Brock just because of the consistency. And I think they're going to make a bigger deal out of it.
WrestleMania.
Exactly what I was thinking. Exactly what I was thinking.
Well, and that makes really good. Like I've thought this whole time that they're going to save it, that they're going to build it up, and save it, because the fact of the matter is, and this is just logic, and this is just how it works. You can't have somebody completely dominate and overrun somebody, and then when it's actually the time to do it, go through with it. It doesn't work like that. What's going to happen is Brock's going to come out on top. I want I want Braun to win. I want Braun to come out on top, but he's been so dominant over Brock. Everybody sees that coming. Everybody thinks it's going to happen.
Does Brock win clean?
Probably not. No. I don't think so. But as long as they throw an office chair during this match.
Dude, that was so good. That was the best thing I've seen in forever. That match was so good.
Usually, I watch, the missus doesn't really like wrestling, so I wind up watching it by myself. So when he threw that office chair, I literally got up and went, holy shit.
Popped you huge.
Oh, exactly, man. So I think he's going to win, but not going to win clean, and that way I'll kind of further that.
Yeah.
And I think this is something that's going to go, and the big moment's probably going to happen at WrestleMania.
I agree.
It would just make more sense that way because it's a bigger stage and more eyeballs on that pay-per-view or anything else. But like I said, I'm let's say 85% sure that Brock's going to come out on top, especially didn't Braun stand tall in the go-home show?
Oh yeah, well they had to talk shit.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah. Okay, so but the last time he dominated.
Yeah, he power slammed the shit out of him like he's been
exactly.
doing. Yeah.
So that's what makes me think that it's gonna be Brock, and that way Brock can have the steroid MMA fight with John Jones.
Yeah.
Well, in 4 years?
Exactly. That's what I'm hoping.
Just do it in Japan.
Exactly.
That's the way to do it.
All steroid up, all of it, all the time.
Awesome. Well, looks like the show is starting as we speak.
Like magic. Look at that.
Right.
All right,
Man.
let me get my plugs in real quick. All right, if
You haven't got enough in yet?
Yeah, hold on. All right, so
Right?
it's
Nobody's
Fight TV,
listening at this point.
XFN. No, they're gonna listen. XFN 343. You can hear my promo, my magical promo, defending professional wrestling at XFN 43. Max DJ Tulsa live event trivia, Elote restaurant, and of course, my name is Ray Martinez, and this is Revoltage Podcast.
And then you can check me out on my podcast, Revoltage Podcast.
And you can check me out whenever I pop up here.
Awesome. Ray Martinez, everybody. Kellan Parker.
Thank you, man.
Yep, thank you so much. It was a lot of fun.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.